All right, let's talk about chapter 2, insatiable hunger. Been there, done that, feel it. Talk to us a little bit about it.
Yeah, totally. So we've got this new kind of hunger on board in our society. A lot of people will relate to this. Not everybody has it. This is not like the willpower gap. The willpower gap affects everybody. Insatiable hunger has set in for a majority of the population, but not everybody, but still a majority, like in the Western population, I would say in the United States, for example. It's a weird kind of hunger. It's not evolutionary hunger. It's not like, wow, I haven't eaten anything in 6 or 7 hours and boy, my stomach is grumbling and I'm famished. It's the kind of hunger that's like you've just eaten a full dinner and now you're headed to the couch to watch TV and you feel like you need a bag of chips to sit there and watch TV. And now the bag of chips is gone and you're headed to the freezer for ice cream. Now, if you ask your body in the midst of that, are you hungry? What happens is the body's saying no and the brain is shutting it down because that answer is threatening because the system needs more food. And it's saying, be quiet, body. We're not listening to the fact that you're not hungry. We need more food. It's like the hand and the elbow that are bending and putting the fork and the spoon to the mouth need to keep going. The brain needs more food. The mouth needs more food. The digestive system doesn't need any more food. And it can even be pretty clear about that. You could even be full to the point of a little uncomfortable. And all the other aspects of your system still need more food so much that you'll keep eating. It's it's a little bit like the eating pumpkin pie at the end of a Thanksgiving meal effect, but it's not really that because there's other reasons for that you would do that. But it's like an everyday phenomenon where for whatever reason, the signals that tell your brain and your body that you're done eating are not coming. And so you have this insatiable hunger. And we know now why that is. And we know what the solution is. So that's pretty important.
Why is it? Because I end up having these insatiable cravings where I feel like my stomach's an empty pit. And if you see me, I'm pretty skinny. And I often, my husband will look and say, where are you putting all that food?
Yeah, totally.
So what drives it?
So careful, because you use the word cravings. That's actually the next chapter. And there is a difference between insatiable hunger and cravings. The insatiable hunger is like a grazing, snacking, overeating thing. Cravings are more like a specific drive to get a specific food that feels overwhelming, like you're like a zombie, like, okay. Or it could be you're wandering up and down the grocery store aisles looking like, what's going to do it? What's going to be my fix? What's going to...
Chocolate. Where is that chocolate? But you're right. That's cravings. No, I've got the grazing issue too. Yeah. What drives that need after having had a huge lunch?
Right.
To then want to, it's this action. And I've noticed, like I'll pick up a bag of almonds and I'll just sit there popping them in till the whole bag's gone. It makes no sense. I'm not hungry.
Totally.
I don't even like almonds that much.
Totally. Right. Irrelevant.
Yeah.
Totally. Okay. You want to know what does it? What they
Yeah.
Okay. It's leptin resistance. Okay. Leptin is a hormone.
Yes.
We haven't known about it for that long. It was discovered in 1994. The cause of leptin resistance, then we didn't know about leptin resistance in 1994. We just discovered the hormone leptin in 1994. Then in the mid 2000s, 2004, 5, 6, we discovered the issue of leptin resistance and what causes it. And more has been uncovered about what causes it, even up to, some critical papers in this have been published in the last year. Okay. So leptin. Leptin is it, man. Leptin is the crux of the obesity epidemic. This is the thing.
And what's driving it? Give just one quick response to what do you think is the number one reason that's driving this leptin resistance?
Overeating processed foods like sugar and flour.
Yeah.
The ubiquitous availability of sugar and flour and our blindness to the fact that those foods act like drugs in our body and rewire our brains and our hormones. So, but let me unpack this a little bit. So what is leptin? Leptin is the hormone that you would think we would have that's supposed to keep our body weight regulated. It's the hormone that like let's think back to our ancestors, right? So we've just killed a wildebeest and the blueberries are in season and the bushes are full with blueberries at the same time. So what does our tribe do? We sit around and we gorge. We eat wildebeest and we eat blueberries and we're sitting around for days. We're fat and happy. Our history is actually to be bingers. It makes a lot of sense to eat whatever's available when it's available in that environmental context, right? So eat whatever you can is actually a perfectly good survival mechanism if you're living 100,000 years ago. So we would stuff our faces and we would, let's say, gain 3 to 5 pounds, okay? That fat releases leptin. The leptin circles back to the brain and says, you don't need any more fuel right now. You're not hungry, and go get active because you've got some resources right now that you could go use to build a hut or find a mate or, kill the next wildebeest, right? Let's not get fat. Let's make sure that we're going to survive next week as well as this week, right? So that's what leptin does. You're not hungry and you feel like exercising. Hello, that's the hormone we all need, right? You're not hungry and you're exercising. So leptin is the hormone that if your brain can't see it, you show all the physiological markers of starvation.
Interesting.
I'm going to say that again. If your brain can't see your leptin or you don't have any leptin, you are starving according to your brain. You are wasting away. And the brain develops an imperative to force you to eat more food at any available opportunity. So what we've learned now is that a lot of the modern conditions are blocking the brain's ability to see the leptin. It's not that if you're overweight, you don't have leptin. You do. You've got more because you've got all this fat. So there's actually a straight linear curve between the amount of leptin in someone's blood and their fat levels, right? As there should be. But the brain can't see it. It's being blocked. And what we found now this goes a little beyond what's in the book because there have been some recent studies. In the book, I say it's being blocked by insulin levels, high insulin levels, not spikes, baseline. Like, you eat enough crappy American processed food and your baseline insulin levels will double. Seriously.
Absolutely.
It's also being blocked by high triglycerides. Same cause, crappy standard American diet.
Yeah.
It's also being caused by high inflammation. Same cause, crappy American diet.
Yeah.
So, that's basically what's going on. So you dramatically lower your baseline insulin levels, your inflammation, and your triglycerides, which you can do, depending on how badly your body is damaged. Some people can do that, in 2 days to a week of eating really good food, those things can come right down and the leptin comes back on board and they're like, whoa, I'm feeling appropriately satiated and full after a regular amount of food, and I haven't felt that way in years, right? It can, the solution there can happen really fast. But if you have a lot of let's say you have type 2 diabetes or you're getting there and your system is more out of whack, it might take you longer to get that insulin resistance taken care of with a good diet.